So in the next 5 days, I have a big responsibility. That is not to waste your time. And I know you are also not here to waste your time. So therefore, together we'll try our best to pay attention. I will try to speak as slow as possible. There is a Tibetan master, very famous Tibetan master. He said, there is nobody who will catch hold of your hand and throw you into heaven. Even Buddha cannot do this. Similarly, there is nobody, however mean and bad and negative, who will catch hold of your leg and drag you and throw you into hell. Your happiness, your suffering is in your hand. Do not cheat yourself. Do not cheat yourself. Of course, nobody is intentionally cheating oneself, but because we do not pay attention to what we are doing, in which direction we are moving, and things like that, we keep on doing all the stupid, silly, meaningless things. That is cheating. When you are cheated by somebody, you feel very sad. Oh, my friend cheated me, my brother cheated me, my wife cheated me. But have you ever thought how many times you cheated yourself? So in all our lives, because we don't know what is within our control and what is not within our control. And we don't do what is within our control, what we can do, but keep on complaining things on which we have no control, like the example that I give you. So whether you like it or not, at the end of the day, unless you are able to take care of yourself, nobody will be able to take care of you, including the Buddha. That's why the Buddha said, I have shown you the path to liberation. Liberation is up to you. He never said, have faith in me, boom, I'll throw this light and you will all be, flying in the space towards nirvana. He never said this. I've shown you the path to liberation. Liberation is up to you, which means I'm your teacher. I can give you homework. If you don't do your homework, you will fail. Really, we are a bunch of lazy people. We don't want to think. We want led by the noses by some other people. इसलिए मार खा जाता है. That's how we suffer. Really. You can really make your life happy and peaceful if you change your way of thinking. And to get that peace of happiness, it's not so much dependent upon how much money you have, how many friends you have, how famous you are, no. And in fact, if you run after name and fame and money and things like that, at the end of the day, there's nothing that is value-free. You will suffer. I'll give you my own example. If I want to become a celebrity, I can become very easily at this age. Because I can teach Buddhism, I can speak in English, I can advertise it, and advertisement also, something very catchy, the so-called packaging. Advertise yourself, bombard yourself. I can easily get few thousand people coming to me all the time. I have that much confidence, but I'm not doing this. I'm scared. You see, so I just go with the flow. I mean, people request me, okay, if it's 10 people, okay, 20 people, okay. So that way I saved myself until now. I don't have a big following. I don't need a big following. But these days, unfortunately, when you go online, so many people know you, follow you, so that's a different thing. That's out of control, you see. So what I'm saying is, it's very, very important not to be hypocritical. हिंदी में हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, हाथी के दांत दिखाने के लिए और खाने के लिए और. No, like this. Not the elephants. Not like elephant's teeth. Something to show and something else to eat for eating. है ना? Very simple. We don't have to spend 5 days sitting here. What I already said, if you practice it, there's a lot to practice. If you are thirsty, you need to drink water, right? But you don't have to drink the whole ocean. Am I right? And the problem is we don't practice. You become expert, you become learned, you become well-trained only when you practice something regularly. Forget about spiritual practice, even with food. How many of us are suffering unnecessarily because of taking wrong diet, wrong food? We are not able to stop it because it's tasty for my tongue. I like chili. I like sugar. Even if you are diabetic, still you keep on. A little bit is okay. I'm really concerned about how people live their life. The food habit, all this packaged food, they're killing. We have to stop these things. If you want to bring revolution, you need to be a little bit strong and say no to Coca-Cola. Imagine if the whole world, the population of the whole world says no Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola will be gone. Similarly, many of these, especially like harmful products, we really need to come up with a campaign and say no. And with the scientific findings that this is not good for your health. So in the name of progress, you see all these, nice looking products, nicely arranged on the shelf, especially in big malls with these beautiful lights and lamps, and you go there like a zombie, buying everything. And paying extra money when you don't have much money. So from this you can see how clever we are. Right? So therefore, what I'm saying is that from this retreat, what we should try to achieve, reading we will do, but what we should try to achieve is to become a little bit happier, peaceful person. A happy and peaceful person who is not tossed around by the ups and downs in life, who is able to maintain sanity. Insane ho raha hai na aajkal, everybody is becoming insane. You maintain your sanity, remain stable in all situations, including very turbulent life. And you can do that if you understand the way things are. If you understand, many of us are shocked when we encounter something like, for example, death of your family member, or there is some other unfortunate things. We are completely shocked and mesmerized. Oh my God, what should I do now? Because you don't know the reality. If you know the reality, there's nothing shocking. People will come, people will go. We are here, we meet here 5 days, then you go, I go. That's not shocking, huh? Because you have accepted that this is the schedule. So similarly, look at the big schedule with your family members. You will be with them for, nobody knows, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, nobody knows. That's the schedule. After that, the retreat is over. They will go, or you will go. So don't get shocked. Now if you understand this reality, your life will change in the sense, for example, with this retreat, you know that Geshe will be here 5 days. We are all here 5 days. So I don't have to stay with this nasty monk for many, many days. He'll be here only for 5 days. So even if I don't like, I just show smile and say nice. Geshe, how are you? I will also do the same thing. Right? So my purpose is, when you know this, then the only good thing Only thing that makes sense is, because we are together for a short time, let us be nice to each other. So extend that a little bit. With your family members also, you are not with them forever. So when you are together, be nice. When they go, don't cry. Don't shed your crocodile tear. The problem with us is, when we live together, we are not so nice. When somebody dies, then we shed our crocodile tear. We do all useless things. So to sum up what Buddha taught is, the Buddha is saying, do those things which is sensible, which is useful, which is beneficial. Don't do those things which is useless. I mean, you're crying over somebody who is dead. What is the use? In Buddhist text it says it can only harm that person more. So it's all question of understanding the way things are, understanding the reality. Unfortunately, people don't spend time thinking about reality and truth. So that's why the so-called leaders of the world, from my point of view, I'm such a small man, but from my point of view, forgive me to say this, many of these leaders are so stupid, so egoistic, so short-sighted. They know how to stockpile arms to kill the neighboring families, neighboring countries. And the Buddhist teaching says you don't have to kill people, they will die. Does that make sense? I mean, this is called wisdom. Now on the other hand, the so-called leaders, they are stockpiling arms and arsenals. I mean, now some of these countries, they have like 6,000 nuclear bombs, 5,000 nuclear bombs. And one nuclear bomb can kill millions. And kill many times over. Is it necessary? Really? There's no point blaming somebody, but we need to really change this attitude and spread this information. We are here on this globe for a short time. The important thing is not from which country you belong to, And then in between we have this stupid so-called nationalism. My country. And everybody is talking about, independence, freedom. When you don't have freedom for yourself, when you are unable to get freedom from the onslaught of negative emotions, you are talking about freedom, independence. All these paradoxes of life, we need to settle all these paradoxes of life. And this day, just to little bit provoke people and to open their eyes, I tell them, look, right now we have 8 billion human population. All this 8 billion human population will be dead after 110, 20 years. When I say 110, 20 years, I already have given some discount. This is undeniable fact that all these 8 billion people, including the nasty leaders, they're all dead in 100 years. Why I'm saying this? I'm saying this because if that is our fate, then in between this 100 years means generalization. In our individual case, it may be 15 years, it may be 50 years, it may be 10 years. In my case, maybe another 10 years maximum, or 20 years maximum. So what should I be doing in this very limited period? Fighting, killing, exploitation, bribing? And so, for example, if it's 100% sure I'm going to die tonight or tomorrow, shall I engage in bribing today? Corruption today? Make other people unhappy today? You will not do that. You will not, because you have seen the limit. You have seen the reality. Your mind will completely change. You will talk about something good. You will regret over bad things that you have done. So therefore, meditation on impermanence, meditation on change, meditation on various aspects of reality is so, 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 so important. Okay, so maybe you make a promise. I'm sure you're all good practitioners. I don't know each of you well, although I've seen a number of you, including myself. I'm no exception. So our target and our effort should be, after having attended this teaching in Bir, there should be some transformation. There should be more calmness in your life. And that calmness and happiness, stable mind will not only lead you towards liberation, enlightenment, that will bring seeable results in the next 1 or 2 years. Or even one day you can see the result, if you practice that. If you're happy one day, that's it. Kal kisne dekha? Who has seen tomorrow? Be happy today. Don't think about the horrid weather, but but think about, the reality that we are in a place where there is no war going on, where there is food to eat, where there is nice place to sleep. What else you want? People ask me, Geshe, are you happy? I say, yes, I am very happy. They are a little bit shocked. This man who has no country, and also not rich, how can he be happy? And then there are some people, they just say, okay. Some people, there was once, I gave a talk, something like this. Then after the talk, one lady, this group came from San Francisco. One lady just keep on chasing me. Geshe, are you really happy? She was not believing what I was saying. Are you really happy? Why are you happy? She asked me, why are you happy? And then the reason she asked me why I'm happy, she was worried about this, is because she said, Geshe, you live alone. Yes, I live alone. Are you really happy? You see? That's the question. If you don't have a husband, don't have a wife, don't have somebody to cling together, they think you cannot be happy. You see? Your being in good relationship with other people is not how many times you touch each other. It is how many times you reach each other mentally. I give you a very concrete example. There are meditators who sit high in the mountain, spend their whole life in the mountain, much colder than here, whole year. But they never suffer from loneliness, because their mind is always thinking about well-being of sentient beings, like a mother to her children. They never suffer from loneliness. And many of us who live in a big city with 20 million people suffering from loneliness. So there is a difference between loneliness and solitude. Solitude is very important for us. Loneliness is a state of mind, not so much about with how many people you are staying or living. So again, you can clearly see it is your mind. It is your mind. Right? So therefore, the point I was making was really, life is short. There are too many things to know, especially in today's world, especially when you use media technology. Everything is there on the screen. Science, health. Even if you want to know about how to control blood pressure, there will be like hundreds of so-called doctors or scholars giving you advice. Similarly on diabetes, it's countless. So is it necessary that you try to read all of them? Some maybe, depending upon what you need, but not all of it. Therefore, Shantideva, in his Bodhisattva way of life, right in the beginning he says, life is short. There are too many things to know. At his time, in 8th century. Life is short. There are too many things to know. We do not know the exact span of our life. How long you are going to live, we don't know. Therefore, take only those things which is necessary. Just like the swans extract milk from water. We don't have time. As I already mentioned, if you are thirsty, I already mentioned. We are living in the age of information. You are bombarded with all kinds of informations. So with information also there are useful information, useless information. You should have the caliber to sift between what is right information, what is wrong information. Then from information you should get knowledge. Then from knowledge gradually you should get wisdom. Information is like reading all the books about how to build a ship. But you don't know how to build a ship. Knowledge is being able to build the ship. Wisdom is how you are going to use that ship. For helping people cross the river, turbulent river, or for transporting nuclear bombs to kill other people. That is decided by wisdom. So gradually, through knowledge, gradually we should have that right wisdom. Wisdom primarily based on one's own life experience. Based on one's own life experience. So you need to not only listen to somebody, you need to see how far this teaching sounds true. How far are you able to implement it? You need to see this. Right? And then, through that way, if you make an effort, of course reading all kind of Dharma books is important to get larger perspective, but at the end of the day, you should be able to consolidate and get the essence. And the more important things like compassion, you need to live, you need to practice. Compassion is not for talking. Loving kindness is not for talking, it's for practice. Generosity is not so much for talking, it's for practice. So we need to practice it. And then believe me, if you practice it, you will be much, 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 much happier. Not only in this life, in the future life. Because if you make your mind right now habituated with good things, that habit goes to the next life. Like for example, if you get your mind habituated with some positive things in the daytime, that will influence your experience in the night. It usually is the case that you will get more peaceful, better dream. So life and death is like the waking state and the sleeping state. So from that you can take the clue that it is possible to have happiness from life to life. So when you study Dharma, it should not be done like any other activities that we do in the world. Because some people are going, I should also go. It may be interesting. No, interesting, what do you mean by interesting? And especially the text that we are going to read today is by Gampopa. Gampopa is the two foremost disciple of Milarepa is Rechungpa and Gampopa. Rechungpa is known as the moon-like disciple, and Gampopa, Takulhaji, is said to be the sun-like disciple. And Gampopa's life was not different from all of us. He also married a very beautiful wife, lady, and had two, I think one son and one daughter, anyway, 2 children, very beautiful. And they all died young. The wife and the 2 kids, they all died young. And he felt very kind of discouraged or sad with that, facing that reality. Then he said, this is life, so I must do a bigger thing to help everybody. The same story is the story of the Buddha. He also married in the beginning. He also had a son. And he left all of them. They were not dead, they were all alive. a very beautiful lady, and also great social worker. He left all of them, thinking, oh, yeah, they are very good to me. I have a beautiful palace and things like that. But this is not the ultimate source of happiness for everybody. So then he left to find this bigger path to help countless sentient beings. And as a result, today we have over 500 million human beings, or 500, I don't know the exact number, 500 million Buddhists in the world today. Then there are other millions who may not call themselves Buddhists, but they are very much interested in the Buddhist teaching and following it and getting benefited. Now some of the main Buddhist principles are implemented in psychology, Western psychology, in therapy, in mind training, things like that. So beneficial, so beneficial. So therefore you should make it a point to get some of the gist, main important ideas, implement it, read more reliable books, then share it with others also. To share it, you don't have to become a teacher or sit on a bigger throne, Whether you sit on a bigger throne or not, if you share that Dharma knowledge, it's very, very important. Because as I said, there are so many people who want to be good. Majority, according to my finding, majority of the people, despite their environment and circumstances, they want to be a good person. That's my understanding, wherever you go. But they don't have that support, they don't have that environment, they don't have that knowledge, So because of having no knowledge, people are suffering unnecessarily. There are genuine people who are poor, who want to do certain things, have no money. Some people, they need only 10,000 rupees. Some people, they need only 500 rupees. Genuinely need, You can easily help. So that way they feel, oh, I'm not alone. There are good people in the world. They don't get discouraged. And then with that money and with that help, you should tell them that you should do this, to guide them, to look after themselves. And you can do that. All of us can do that. You don't have to be a highly recognized teacher or things like that. Right? So, to sum up, our purpose of being here is not to sit in this cold climate without learning anything, but to take something back and practice in your life, and to be able to withstand all calamities and misfortunes in this life. And if you change your mental attitude, you live happily. You die happily. Because you know what is death. There is no death actually. The so-called death that we are talking about today is death of the body. There's no death to the mind. So leaving your body behind is like you're changing clothes. You don't get scared when you change your clothes, do you? So it's only a question of understanding. When you go to sleep, you don't get scared. Because when you go to sleep also, your body is more or less dead. You can't see, you can't smell. Right? Your mind becomes active. You can see that. So it's all question of understanding. We are suffering unnecessarily because of lack of understanding, lack of knowledge, right? And misapprehension of reality. So therefore we should, as much as possible, try to practice those things which you think make sense. We have to live it. Especially when we read texts like this, it is for practice. It is for practice. If you read the life stories of Milarepa and Gambopa, just mind blasting. You will start thinking, how can you do that? But they did it. They did it. And because of their experience and practice, they are able to help so many other people. Okay. So therefore, to read this text, our initial motivation should be, how nice if I am able to become Buddha, completely enlightened, so that I can help all suffering sentient beings. That should be your motivation. Because helping other sentient beings is not just distributing money. As I already mentioned, sentient beings suffer primarily because they don't know what to practice and what to discard, because of ignorance. So to lessen and remove that ignorance, you need to get enlightened. And especially if you get completely enlightened, then I can read your mind, What you need today, what you need in 10 days, what you need in, after 2 years, what was your past life, what will be your future life. If I know this, everything, then I can guide you. But when you are not enlightened, you can make some presumption, but you may not be able to guide correctly. Especially if you don't have a pure motivation, right? So therefore, make this motivation and prayer right in the beginning. May I achieve enlightenment or Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. When you think about all sentient beings, what is the state of all sentient beings today? They are all running. Everybody is busy, especially in modern world. Everybody says, I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy. Why are they so busy? What are they busy about? It's not important to be busy. Is it important to be busy? People really think it is important to be busy. No. Big no. It's not important to be busy. What is important is, what are you busy about? Kis cheez mein व्यस्त हैं? What are you busy about? So when you ask this question, what are you busy about? Most of the time, we are busy about useless things. You are running because everybody is running. No idea why you are running. No idea where the majority of the people are running. They are also running. There are some misguided people who misguides other people, and then they are running. For example, if the gold mine is here, people should run towards this side, not this side. But today people are running towards a direction where there is no gold. The so-called material development towards which we are running today is going to end up the whole globe, destroy the whole environment. That's why we see all these strange weathers. It's our doing, mostly. Right? So therefore, you should make this motivation. And in order to achieve enlightenment, there is no push button enlightenment. Enlightenment is possible through listening to the teaching, through contemplation, and finally through meditation. For a long, long time. Not easy. But not easy does not mean that you can't make progress. And also again here you need to be realistic, because when we say one day you will achieve nirvana, enlightenment, it's almost like impossible task. Given our present habit and tendency, and given the task before us, the path to achieve nirvana, enlightenment, it's almost impossible thing. But that does not, now this is the point that I want to make. This does not mean to say that you are not going to get anything before you become Buddha or before you achieve nirvana. You will get a glimpse of that nirvana or Buddhahood right now. Meaning that if you transform your emotion a little bit, for example, if you are a very hot-tempered person, then having seen the negative fruits of destructive emotion, like for example anger, if you reduce that hot-temperedness, reduce that anger a little bit, you are getting a glimpse of nirvana enlightenment. And you will be happy right away. That's what we need to do. Let's not talk about big things, which is not related to our. Let us talk about reality. Now what you should do is find out Right in the beginning, as I said, we all want happiness, do not want suffering. We all want happiness, long-term happiness and long-term peace, right? Is that what you want? Long-term happiness? Long-term peace? That's what you want? See, when I ask this question, everybody says, yes, I want. Because right now you are thinking a little bit. But when you are out of the session, join the rest of the group in the market, and then you start leading a way of life which doesn't really look like you want long-lasting happiness and peace. Then you start going to the different direction. That's the problem. So therefore the practice has to be not only during the meditative session, but practice has also to be during the post-meditative session, which is even more important. So during the post-meditative state, you need to remain alert, awake, mindful. To whom you are talking, what are you talking, to whom you are meeting, who you are meeting, to which place you are going. All there you need to be watchful, alert. Make sure that this doesn't go against your practice. That has to be there. So not easy. But not easy doesn't mean you can't do it. You can do it. With practice, you can do it. Right? So therefore, now for example, you be honest to yourself, okay? And find out of the many negative emotions that we all have, find out one negative emotion which has a predominant presence in you. Okay, I will stop speaking for a few seconds. Find it. Find that one negative emotion out of many which you think has a predominant presence in you and which has really been bothering you and disturbing you. Find it. Is that anger? Is that lust? Is that greed? You don't have to tell me. But you find it and catch it. I am saying that you find that negative emotion which has a predominant presence in you, because right now you may not be able to grapple and fight with all the negative emotions, but at least identify that negative emotion which has a predominant presence in you, because that is going to harm you very much. So try to recognize that and reduce its intensity. Reduce it. Now for example, if it is anger, then you should think, number one, what's the benefit of anger? Is anger constructive or destructive? Is anger necessary or unnecessary? And what do you experience when you develop anger? Number one, now answer please. Is it destructive or constructive? Huh? Anger is our enemy, so say destructive. Not like destructive, not like that. Is anger is anger destructive or constructive? Destructive. Yes, right. When you develop anger, you become more beautiful or ugly? See, as simple as that. Right? Whoever you are, man, women, you want to be a presentable person, right? That's why we use all these make-ups and, things like that. But don't yourself with all these gold earrings, ornaments, then lipsticks, and then after that you get angry. How handsome are you now? How beautiful are you now? You look horrible. Right? When you are calm, when you are patient, not angry, even without any of these ornaments, you look very attractive. You don't need any of these decorations. Nature has given you this beautiful face. I mean, look at this beautiful eye. Unlike wild animals. If you look at your eye, our eyes are more like deer's eye. Especially when you love somebody, your eye also becomes a little bit slender, because the love goes inside, comes from within. So you go like this. Mother with the child, like this, you see. So your eye. Then look at your teeth. Very beautiful when you smile and show your teeth. No other animal can do that. No other animal can do that. Right? Then your hands, these long hands are good for hugging, not for hitting. The long hand is for hugging. And these nice fingers are for shaking hand, not for hitting others. If it's for hitting others, right from the beginning, we should just go get a fist, not the fingers. So if you look at our bodily structure, also mental structure, we are primarily for friendship, for peace, for happiness. But then what went wrong? The one thing that went wrong is we have this amazing human intelligence, which I these days compare to a nuclear energy. Nuclear energy is neither constructive nor destructive. It depends upon how you use it. If you use it properly, produce electricity. If you wrongly, nuclear bomb. So similarly, this nuclear bomb nuclear energy like human mind, human intelligence has a great potential. Unfortunately, many a times, most of us misuse this intelligence towards the wrong direction. You highlight negative emotions. And then you become Stalin or Idi Amin or Mao Zedong, the long list of notorious people. Hitler, just one person brought so much tear, misery, suffering. You see? Then the same human intelligence, human mind, with this great potential, if you use it in the right way, then you produce His Holiness the Dalai Lama, you produce Mahatma Gandhi, you produce Nelson Mandela, you produce Martin Luther King, you produce Mother Teresa. Again, just one human being can bring so much benefit and peace and happiness. Right? So therefore my point is that human intelligence is just a potential that now must be used constructively to the right direction. That's why for Dharma practice also we need to study, reflect, think, use human faculty, thinking faculty, reasoning faculty. Right? Then you can really not only have happiness in your case, but you can bring happiness in the mind of so many other people. Your very presence will make other people happy. And that we can do. That we can do. That is the point. If you don't have that, it really doesn't matter how many great certificates you have. Yes, was it yesterday? Yesterday or day before yesterday? I think yesterday. I met a group of academicians and scholars from Harvard University. So we had they wanted me to say something and then we had a discussion. So they asked me a question saying that those students or scholars who graduate from Harvard or from Oxford who have learned, studied so many things, then after that they don't know how to use all these different things that they have learned. So what is your answer? So I told them, number one, I'm not at all attracted with these great certificates from any university. If these people who graduate from there are without human feeling. You see, all this academic learning and knowledge will become useful if you have this concern for well-being of others. Martin Luther King said, you can all become great. You can all become great. And very easy to become great in a way. How can you become great? He said, you can all become great because you can all serve other people. I mean, such a beautiful expression. Martin Luther King died very young. But his talks and speeches and some of the points that he said was just goes into your heart. You can all become great because you can all serve other people, help other people. And it's in our human nature that if you really help other people, you will drive the benefit, not only those people. Right? But without this concern for others' well-being, or well-being of not just human beings, well-being of sentient beings, I mean, even if you have like degrees from all the biggest universities in the world, Buddha did not get any certificate from any university. His Holiness Dalai Lama did not get any certificate from this modern university. But these people are able to help so many people, and we can do that. We need to realize this. We can all do that. So it's not so much talk, always getting a job by showing the certificate. But the certificate is in your work, in your deed. Show that certificate. And in your life, don't lead a life of duplicity, saying one thing, doing another thing. Right? There should be harmony between what you say, what you do, what you practice. That is certificate, your certificate. And people will give you all the recognitions necessary. Because there are so many people, as I already mentioned, there are so many people who are looking forward to somebody who will encourage them, not discourage them, who will help by their hand and lead to a better place. So majority of the people looking towards such friendship, such a leadership. And we can all do that, depending upon our capacity. So to make a long story short, our main purpose of human life is happiness, long-term happiness. The long-term happiness will come only when you help others. Even in your spiritual upliftment, even in terms of your spiritual development, how can you develop compassion? You develop compassion with respect to others. Compassion means how nice if these sentient beings are without suffering. That's compassion. You are relating to other people's welfare. You cannot develop compassion with a rock, with a tree. You develop loving kindness, compassion, patience, primarily in relation to other sentient beings. So these sentient beings are so kind to you. They are so useful to you. Now people might say, if I get benefit from these sentient beings, then that is not something that these people are doing intentionally. It's not a question of whether they are helping you intentionally or not. You are the fact that you are getting the benefit is enough. Like your dollar in your pocket. The dollar in your pocket has no motivation to help you. But because it is benefiting you, so therefore you make sure that it is in your nice purse, Make sure nobody steals it. You protect it because you are getting the benefit. Even this Dharma text has no motivation to benefit you. But because you are getting benefit from it, therefore you respect it. Right? So therefore in your life, as much as possible, to summarize, as His Holiness the Dalai Lama says, if you can, help others as much as you can. If you can't, at least refrain from harming. The least you can do is refrain from harming. If you do that and if you live such a life, then you have nothing to regret, nothing to hide, nothing to fear. Fear comes when we lead a life of duplicity, when we harm other people. Right? When you stop doing these things, nothing to fear. Even death is coming, nothing to fear. Nothing to lose, nothing to gain. Okay? All this. There's the one. 10:30. Okay, any question? Reading the text we will do, you can read also, the English version is there. I will explain a little bit. We will not be able to finish even the half of the text. That's 100% sure. But it's not important to finish all of them, because it has so many sections. If you become, familiar with even one section, it will just do miracles. Yeah. Any questions? Yeah. So we, as much as possible, you should try to do it more interactive. Okay? Yeah.
Hi, Geshe Lakhdor.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to be here, and the introduction of the text was very insightful.
Yeah.
I do have some questions.
Yes.
Maybe it could be a little contextual.
Yeah.
So one about the anger that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And while implication, I'll bring my real life example, that when I find myself sometimes developing anger, and in order to get rid of that anger, I kind of have a sort of anger towards myself, and it kind of, multiplies that way, like a lot of stacking of emotions, meta emotions, that, I don't want that emotion, but it's there. And I don't know, from survival instinct or evolutionary dynamic, I don't know from what, but it has arisen. And then how do I go about it? That is one question.
Okay, let us deal with that. Yeah, we all have this animal instinct, fight and flight response. Okay? So we are so strongly ingrained, these negative emotions are so strongly ingrained in our mind. And also, if you look at the process of human evolution, it is not related to any Dharma teaching. It is the way how we evolved. And the way we evolved is, for example, originally we are also like other animals. We used to live in the cave and no clothes to wear like any other animals. So we only have, as you mentioned, have that survival instinct. So for that survival, we need to have sex and produce kids and children. And if anybody comes to harm you, you need to fight and defend yourself. So this is how this negative emotions, anger and attachment is still so strong in us. There's the lineage. There's the lineage. Right? Now the question is it necessary to continuously live like that and remain ignorant? Number one, because anger and this attachment comes from ignorance. Is it necessary that we should remain ignorant all the time? No. It is clearly, evident, both from spiritual point of view and scientific point of view, that we can transform, change our attitude and deal away with many of these unnecessary, not so useful negative emotions. So sometimes it looks like it's helping you, that person also no more bothers you. That also happens. Right? So now here the important thing that you need to understand is, when we say don't get angry, we are not saying you don't be bold. We are not saying you should not have courage. So without anger, without resorting to any of these negative emotions, you should be confident, you should be courageous, you should be bold. And the same situation can be dealt very boldly, very courageously, without developing these negative emotions. Because when you develop these negative emotions like anger, you become blind. When you become blind, then it's completely unsure whether you're hitting the target or not. You may be saying things which you should not have been saying. Then you will lose in the court, you see. In a legal fight, you will lose, you see. So deep down, you should maintain your calmness, but externally you should express that boldness, being able to say things and do things. That's why non-violence is so important. Many people think non-violence is the sign of weakness. No, honestly speaking, only few people can practice non-violence. Because when you use non-violence, you are not resorting to any arms. You are able to say the truth, and you are not scared, which Mahatma Gandhi practiced. You see, Martin Luther King practiced. His Holiness Dalai Lama is practicing, you see. And with that weapon of non-violence, the enemy is actually feeling very uneasy how to deal with that person. His Holiness the Dalai Lama always says, in harmony with my Buddhist practice, I meditate on love and compassion for everybody, including the enemy, and that way I feel happy, and that way I get good sleep, that way I don't lose my appetite. That bothers the enemy. That bothers the enemy. How come this person, we have done so many bad things, but still he is energetic, peaceful, has so many friends, When you get angry, all your friends will run away, you see. And gradually, if you constantly get angry, your face will also become like, I don't know, your face will also look like you didn't get sleep for many, many days, Right? And then, of course, scientifically proved, your blood pressure shoots up when you get angry. Things like that. Okay? Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah.
Julie Geshe. Actually, I have this question in my mind that is this attachment and desire, is this really a basic human nature? Because in one of His Holiness book, I read this, like when a baby is forming in a mother's womb, it's like if a baby is a girl, she will be more attracted to her father rather than her mother. And if it's a boy, it will be more attracted to her mother. So, and he have written this line that this attachment and desire is a basic natures of humans. So, I just have pretty much doubt about this. So would you please tell me?
Basic nature in the sense it is very much there, but normally we say it is there. This animal instinct, it is there for a long, long, long time from beginning, but it is not the fundamental nature of human mind. There is a distinction. It's not fundamental nature of human mind. It means that you can remove these negative emotions without destroying the basic nature of the mind. Okay? We should have a microphone which runs by itself.
Thank you. So I've experienced this problem that when we serve others or some, then we tend to neglect or ignore or maybe sometimes harm others. Let's say when people have their pets or children, and they focus on that particular group to serve, but then tend to ignore the rest. How do we work with that?
You cannot. That's what the best answer I can give is think globally, act locally. Okay? Your wish is to help all sentient beings, but all sentient beings, you have no idea who these all sentient beings are. They are too far away, no contact. Even with mobile phone, internet, we have no contact with all of these other human beings. Forget about sentient beings. Right? Animals and birds, they don't even have internet connection. Even among human beings, many places have no internet connection, nothing, Even those places where we have this, internet connection, things like that, we personally have no connect. So we can't help them. We can just visualize them and pray for their well-being and happiness. That's the only thing we can do. But what we can do is help those people where you can help. So don't worry about not being able to help everybody. Okay? That's important. Yeah. Somebody very correctly said, I don't know whether I can remember that. Help all sentient, something like this. Help all human beings. The problem is the next door neighbor. Something like that. Something like that. You see. So there is an element of hypocrisy, So start from your family members. How good you are will be reflected how you treat people with you. Normally what we find is you are not so nice with your family members. You are not even responding to their questions. You are not talking, properly. But somebody calls from outside, you immediately say, "Hello, how are you? You look so nice." This is a little bit, I don't know. I should call it hypocrisy, I don't know. Or something like this. So the difficult thing is being nice with the people who you live. If you achieve success in that, you will be successful in your relation with everybody. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. Mic is running now. Yeah.
Good morning, Geshe-ji. My pleasure to be here. And my question is, what to do if you are feeling helpless? Because you start to feel a lot of negative emotions, but the basic emotion is helpless.
You need to be realistic. As I mentioned, we cannot solve all problems in one day. But if you make a systematic effort by recognizing the bad side, destructive side of the negative emotions, by understanding the positive side of the positive emotions, and then make more friendship with the positive emotions, distance yourself from the negative emotions, then gradually you will have a lot of company, support. You will not feel helplessness because now you have many friends. Compassion is your friend. Loving kindness is your friend. Patience is your friend. So when we talk about cultivating the positive emotions, removing the negative emotions, it's really like how you make friendship with other human beings. When you spend time with other people, the more you see the cunningness, the destructiveness, the negativeness of that person, the more you will naturally distance yourself from this person. You will then realize, oh, I have to be careful. He is very manipulative. She is very cunning. Then you distance yourself from that. The more you spend your time with somebody, the more you find that person compassionate, reliable, honest, the more you become closer to that person. So similarly, the more you understand the destructiveness of negative emotions like anger, the more you will naturally distance yourself from that. The more you understand the goodness of positive qualities like compassion, loving kindness, the more you will come closer to those positive emotions. And once you develop these positive emotions, you will never feel helpless and lonely. That gives you courage, that gives you determination, that opens your inner door, and that will bring smile on your face. And then everybody looks beautiful. You see, it's your attitude. When you transform your mental emotion, everybody looks beautiful, everybody is handsome. When you are ruled by negative emotions, then some are beautiful, some are handsome, others are not. Like that, okay? Yeah. Any other question? Done? Use the microphone. They may be recording.
Hi. So I wanted to ask about amid these terms that we use as positive, negative. I have found myself being judgmental towards myself. And if I happen to correct my negative emotion to positive emotion, I found myself judgmental towards other people who are still on their way. How? I don't feel so happy about it. How do I go about it?
No. You're not a judge. You're not a judge in the court. No, not in your case only. It's in the case of many people. Therefore, we always say, don't judge people. Don't judge people has two meanings. One is simply not with a negative emotion, simply by judging or examining whether he looks good, she looks good. That's okay. You have right to judge and examine everything. But not in the light that, oh, I have this quality, she doesn't have this, I speak like this, she doesn't speak like this. My English is so fluent and her English is like broken. No, not like that. Okay. Then also another important point is, unless you cannot actually judge people who they are. I remember somebody saying that you cannot say how much struggle, let us say a woman, how much struggle a woman has done just this morning to get out of her bed and then appear in public in a presentable form. You see? Meaning that this lady may be having a lot of problems. She was struggling, but she can't remain like this. So therefore she just hide her disturbances and struggle that is going inside. She just, makes her clean, washes her face, make her, hair and things like that, and goes in the public as if nothing is happening. So you can't judge. Judging by the face, this woman looks okay. But as I said, how much struggle she has made just to get out of the bed. So therefore don't judge people. And therefore even Buddha said, Nga ta nga drewe kangsa ki tsu sungi, kangsa ki kangsa tsu misungde, nyamra kyurtare. How many of you understand what I said? So that means only a person like me, only I, which means Buddha, not me, okay? I and those others who are like me can judge who that person is. The ordinary individuals cannot judge others. If you do that, it will lead to your decline. That's from Sutra. Yeah. Okay.
Hello. Geshe Lakhdor. Thank you so much for coming here. And my question is eagerness a negative emotion? Eagerness?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Eagerness is like curiosity, So eagerness to learn something, having this curiosity to know something, it's important, both in Buddhism and in science.
Because why I ask this question is, when I get eager, I become so uneasy. I want to know, I want to know it right now, very, I don't know.
Yeah, the eagerness basically is, as I said, not negative emotion,
Okay.
but that eagerness should not lead to unrealistic expectations. For example, if your eagerness is about quantum physics and you want to know it very quickly, you may not be able to know it. If your eagerness is about shunyata, emptiness, you want to know it like this, you may not be able to know it. Right? So that eagerness is good as a start, but maintain that eagerness, maintain that curiosity for a longer time and explore more and more.
In a side, there is each of us. In another side, there is a world. And in a third side, there is the object. They can be immaterial, they can be material, or they can be conceptual. How do you relate all the 3 points?
Oh, all these 3 points are in the subtle level, they are all connected. Because you can't imagine yourself without the world. Where are you going to live without this world? Right? And how can you survive without this object, material facilities? So they are very, very much connected in that sense. And also on a subtle level, the world survives on 4 elements. You also survive on 4 elements. The material objects also survive on 4 elements. So we are all bound together by the 4 elements. Fire, water, air, space, things like that. So that way we are very closely connected to each other. Yeah.
how are you so confident in reincarnation?
I mean, this is a very good question. But this is really like saying, how are you so confident that you will go to bed tonight and wake up tomorrow morning? Are you confident? That's why I'm saying it's a little bit, complex, not easy. But it's really something like that. We cannot say that I'm really confident I'll go to bed and wake up tomorrow morning. But we have some kind of confidence, we take it for granted. So it's like that. It's like that. Reincarnation doesn't have to go very far. Tomorrow's your day, life. It's reincarnation of today's your life. So in that sense, we are reincarnating every moment, every second. Reincarnation is explained on the basis of continuity of human mind. And human mind is like a flow of a river, Does it make sense? Something like that, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.